Hola, ¿qué pasa? This is and I am been around the world. It is a beautiful evening here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and today I'm going to be talking to you about adapting to life in Mexico. Now, I do occasionally refer to the beach town that I'm currently living in as a paradise, but that isn't to say that it's not without its problems or inconveniences. And one of those inconveniences can be frequent blackouts or power outages. Now, where I come from back in America, Buffalo, New York, we're no stranger to power outages. However, they're very few and far between, and they're usually for a very specific reason, like severe weather. If we have a really bad blizzard, like we do every once in a while in the winter, or if we encounter a very windy, crazy rainstorm, we might anticipate a power outage. Here in Mexico, the blackouts or power outages can be much more frequent, and they can be seemingly without warning or for any real reason. I guess that's what happens when the grid isn't too strong and everybody's trying to run their air conditioner at the same time. All in all, I would have to say that the frequency of the power outages is maybe on average maybe like once a month. Luckily, they don't usually last very long, sometimes only a few minutes, 20 minutes, up to an hour. But every once in a while, on occasion, you can get one that lasts much, much longer. I've been here for 5 months in 2021, and I've been here for about 3 months in 2022, and one time we had a power outage, and it actually lasted all night. So you never know when it's going to happen, and you want to be prepared. If you're here on Mexico and you're just taking a vacation and you're staying at a hotel, especially if you're staying at a hotel in like the tourist district of a tourist town, you should be relatively unaffected by it, because most of any of the decent hotels do have backup generators, and if the power goes out, it'll be just shortly after that power backup generator kicks in and everything's all good again. If you're like me and you're doing an extended stay or living in Mexico, and you're probably staying in an Airbnb or an apartment, and you don't have the luxury of depending on a backup generator. So I'm going to talk to you about a few steps that you can take to make your situation better if, unfortunately, power outages become a problem. Now, some of these may seem like common sense, other suggestions maybe not so obvious. The first thing that you're going to want if you come to Mexico to invest in is some candles. I know that seems super obvious. They're super cheap, and you can find them just about in any store here in Mexico. Doesn't matter if it's still daytime when the power goes out, you don't know how long it's going to last, and it might be dark before the power comes back on. So if you invest in a few candles, at least you'll be able to illuminate your apartment in the meantime. The second thing I'm going to suggest is actually getting yourself one of these. Now, this is a portable charger, and this can be a lifesaver. You keep a portable charger with a charge, then you can use it to charge all of your other devices. If you're like me and you think your phone is basically a permanent extension of yourself and how you connect with the outside world, and you just need it, and the portable charger can be a godsend. Again, keep it with a charge, and if all the power goes out or you don't have access to power to charge your devices, you got your portable charger, and at least that way you have all your devices up and running until the power comes back on. The one I have is just a basic model, and it's just for phones, tablets, and other similar devices, but some of the much more impressive models have all sorts of ports and outlets for all different sorts of electronics that you can keep up and running. The next thing I'm going to suggest that you invest in when you come to Mexico is data for your devices. If you're here on vacation and you have carrier with your phone, international carrier, that has a data plan that works here in Mexico, then you're already good to go. Power goes out, takes the Wi-Fi with it, switch on to data, and you're good to go. You're connected again. However, if you do not have data when you get down here, I suggest that you do. Now, thankfully, luckily, it's super easy and very cheap down here. Here in Playa del Carmen, the main phone carrier is Telcel, 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 and they have the Telcel shops all over the place, almost on every other corner on the main streets. So they're really easy to find. Besides that, you can actually buy Telcel SIM card and re-up your data plan at any of the OXXOs. OXXO is the main corner store chain down here, and they are literally on every corner, everywhere. So it's super easy to find where you need to go. You purchase yourself a Telcel SIM card, and I purchased mine at an OXXO for 15 bucks, and it already had data loaded up on it, and it cost me another $10 every month, and that gives me all the data I need for the next 30 days. So get yourself a Telcel SIM card, data plan, and you're going to be good to go. And if ever you run out, power goes out, takes the Wi-Fi with it, you switch over to data, and you got your devices back with connection. Now, another thing you can do when you have power outages here in Mexico is you'll actually notice that if there's a blackout, it's usually isolated to just a neighborhood or a few blocks. And so if the power goes out, just go to where the power isn't out. You'll notice that if your power goes out in your place, a few blocks away, everything's all good. So my suggestion to you is just take a walk a couple blocks, find the nearest cafe, the nearest bar that still has the lights on, grab yourself a drink. After a pint or two, the problem probably solved itself. Again, like I said earlier, most of the time the power outages do not last long at all. So if you go out for a quick drink, you can let the problem sort itself out, and by the time you get back home, everything's all good again. And that's what I would recommend. If you have a job that you work online and you don't think your data plan is strong enough to support your very important conference call on Zoom, then when you get here to Mexico, you'll want to locate some of your nearest cyber cafes or co-working places. Here in Playa del Carmen, it's a very popular tourist destination, and there's a lot of cyber cafes and co-working spaces here. Basically, any major city or tourist town will have them. So again, locate the nearest ones to where you're staying at, and you can always use their Wi-Fi for your work. Again, a real quick rundown. Invest in some candles. Invest in a portable charger that'll keep your devices powered on. Invest in a data package that'll keep your devices connected. And if all else fails, just take a walk until you find the power, and you can wait it out over a pint. Also, I mean, you always have the option of contacting your landlord or your Airbnb host and have them contact the local power authority, or contact them yourself if you know Spanish. A couple weeks ago we had a power outage, and my girlfriend, who speaks the native language down here, called the local power authority. Here in Playa del Carmen it is CFE. But by the time she made contact with them, they were already aware of the problem, and they were already having sent somebody on their way to fix it. So it's unfortunate that power outages are pretty commonplace and happen kind of frequently, but at least they deal with the problem in a very timely and effective manner. So I hope I answered some of your questions and given you some ideas as to how to make your situation better if you come across a power outage in your stay here in Mexico. If you have any questions, comments, critiques, you can leave them in the comments below. Other than that, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. I'm going to make much more videos about life here in Mexico and other countries as I travel around the world. Until next time, adios.